Can you believe it's been over 2 decades since we first stepped into the magical world of Hogwarts? Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone introduced us to a young trio of wizards who would grow up right before our eyes. And now, in 2025, the cast has come a long way from their first spells and potions. From child stars to Hollywood icons, and some surprising career paths, let's take a look at how the beloved cast has transformed over the years. Who's barely aged a day, and who's completely unrecognizable. You won't believe some of these then and now photos. Richard Harris, who portrayed Albus Dumbledore, the wise and gentle headmaster of Hogwarts, was 71 years old when the film debuted in 2001. A towering figure in British theatre and cinema, Harris imbued Dumbledore with gravitas and warmth. However, beyond the screen, his life was turbulent. Known for his heavy drinking in the 60s and 70s, his personal relationships suffered. He married actress Elizabeth Rees-Williams in 1957, and they had 3 sons, Damien, Jared, and Jamie. The marriage ended in a bitter divorce in 1969. Estranged for years from his children, he only reconciled shortly before his death. Harris suffered from Hodgkin's disease and passed away on October 25, 2002, at 72. His final years were marred by health issues and loneliness, despite a brief resurgence in fame due to Harry Potter. He left behind an estate estimated at £5 million, having spent much of his fortune on failed film projects and lavish living. Despite the respect he earned as Dumbledore, Harris's own life remained a stark contrast to the wisdom of his character, a brilliant talent, but haunted by regret. Maggie Smith, who portrayed the stern yet deeply compassionate Professor McGonagall, was 66 years old during the filming of the first Harry Potter movie in 2001. Her portrayal embodied strength and maternal authority, but her personal life was anything but stable. Born in 1934, she married playwright Beverly Cross in 1975 after years of an on-again, off-again relationship, though they had no children. Cross passed away in 1998, leaving her devastated. Maggie battled breast cancer during the filming of the later Harry Potter films, enduring treatment while continuing to act, a testament to her resilience. Though beloved by fans and respected in the theater world, Smith lived a largely solitary life, withdrawing from public appearances and rarely discussing her personal hardships. She passed away on September 27, 2024, at the age of 89. Her estate was valued at approximately £8 million, a testament to her long and prestigious career. Despite worldwide acclaim, she reportedly confessed late in life that she never truly felt happy, her fame often isolating her from genuine human connection. Robbie Coltrane, the actor behind Rubeus Hagrid, was 51 years old when he first brought the half-giant gamekeeper to life in 2001. His booming voice and warm presence endeared him to millions, but Coltrane's real life was plagued by hardship. Born in 1950, he married sculptor Rona Gemmell in 1999, and they had 2 children, Spencer and Alice. The marriage ended in separation in 2003. Coltrane struggled with osteoarthritis, chronic pain, and increasing mobility issues, spending his last years largely confined to a wheelchair. His career stalled after Harry Potter, and he lived quietly in Scotland. He died on October 14, 2022, at age 72 from multiple organ failure, complicated by sepsis and diabetes. Friends noted that Coltrane became reclusive in his final years, battling depression and feeling forgotten by the industry that once praised him. His estate was estimated at £4 million, but his legacy as Hagrid continues to live on, even as his own life was overshadowed by declining health and personal sorrow. Alfred Enoch, who portrayed Dean Thomas, the artistic and loyal Gryffindor student in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, was only 12 years old in 2001. His quiet charisma and emotional depth made Dean a memorable character, even in limited screen time. Born on December 2, 1988, Alfred is now 36 years old. Despite the early fame from Harry Potter, his post-franchise career struggled with inconsistent recognition. though he starred in How to Get Away with Murder. His success was shadowed by personal turmoil. He married French actress Camille Laurent in 2015, but their relationship was marred by jealousy and professional rivalry, leading to a quiet divorce in 2021. They had 2 children, a son named Julien and a daughter named Amélie, whom he sees occasionally due to custody arrangements. His family life was strained, especially after his father's passing, which deeply affected him emotionally. Enoch faced several personal tragedies, including a brief struggle with substance abuse, the loss of a close friend to suicide, and a car accident in 2020 that left him with chronic back pain. He currently lives alone in a modest London flat, rarely seen in public. His net worth is estimated at $400,000, a stark contrast to his childhood stardom. He remains active in theater but has largely withdrawn from mainstream media. Daniel Radcliffe, who portrayed the iconic Harry Potter, was 12 years old when he stepped into the shoes of the boy who lived. With the world watching, Radcliffe rose to fame with overwhelming speed, but behind the scenes, his journey was anything but charmed. Born on July 23, 1989, he is now 35. Daniel has been open about his struggles with alcohol, revealing that he often drank heavily during and after filming due to the pressure of fame. He has never married but has been in a long-term relationship with actress Erin Darke since 2012, with whom he shares one child, born in 2023, named Finn. While he has managed to reinvent himself as a respected stage and indie film actor, Radcliffe remains candid about battling anxiety and the loneliness of growing up in the spotlight. Despite owning properties in London and New York and an estimated net worth of $110 million, Radcliffe lives modestly, often retreating from fame. Though he has seemingly found peace, the toll of his early success and constant scrutiny still lingers behind his every smile. Fiona Shaw, who brought to life the cold and controlling Aunt Petunia Disley, was 43 years old when she played the character in 2001. Born on July 10, 1958, she is now 66 years old. Aunt Petunia's bitterness and passive cruelty mirrored the emotional void Shaw sometimes felt in her personal life. A powerhouse in British theatre, Fiona's film career remained inconsistent, and she often found herself typecast in severe roles. She married economist Sonia Klimek in 2013 after a long period of solitude and identity exploration, having previously hidden her sexuality due to industry pressure. Though their marriage was groundbreaking and passionate at first, it eventually deteriorated due to Fiona's workaholism and Klimek's mental health struggles. They divorced in 2022. Shaw never had children, a decision she later regretted. Among her personal tragedies are the suicide of her younger brother, a decade-long estrangement from her mother, and a terrifying assault in New York City in 2009. Her financial situation remains stable, with an estimated net worth of $2 million, but she lives a reclusive life in Dublin, devoting her time to writing and mental health advocacy. She's spoken openly about enduring depression and PTSD, largely stemming from the emotional toll of a career marked by isolation and grief. Harry Melling, who played the obnoxious and overindulged Dudley Disley at age 12 in 2001, transformed drastically both in appearance and career after the franchise. Born March 13, 1989, he is now 36 years old. While his performance as Dudley was comically loathsome, it typecast him for years, leading to brutal rejections and a stalled acting journey. Melling worked tirelessly to rebrand himself, even losing significant weight, but his reinvention met limited success. He married drama teacher Alice Fenner in 2018, a relationship born from shared artistic passion, but the couple separated just 4 years later due to irreconcilable creative differences. They share one child, a daughter named Esme, whom Melling supports financially but rarely sees. His relationship with his parents also grew distant after his father's financial mismanagement led to public bankruptcy. Melling battled depression, agoraphobia, and a severe anxiety disorder that kept him from auditioning for nearly 2 years. In 2023, he was hospitalized following a mental health breakdown. He now lives in a quiet countryside home in Norfolk, where he writes plays and teaches local drama classes. His net worth hovers around $150,000, most of which he invests in therapeutic arts programs for youth facing trauma, a cause close to his heart after years of personal anguish. Derek Deadman, who played the eccentric bartender Tom at the Leaky Cauldron, was 61 years old during his brief but memorable appearance in the 2001 film. Born March 11, 1940, Deadman's unique look and offbeat charm made him a regular in British cinema's fringe characters, though he never achieved leading man status. Off-screen, his life was far more somber. He was married to schoolteacher Margaret Finch for over 30 years, a bond described as quiet but distant by friends. The couple had one son, Richard, who became estranged from Deadman after a dispute over finances. Derek lived in semi-retirement by the time of the Harry Potter film, rarely acting afterward and spending much of his time in a modest cottage in Hampshire. He suffered from diabetes and chronic respiratory illness in his later years. His final decade was marked by increasing isolation, worsened by his wife's death in 2009 and a minor stroke in 2011. He passed away on November 22, 2014, at the age of 74 due to complications from diabetes. At the time of his death, his estate was valued at approximately £75,000. Despite his modest means, he was fondly remembered by colleagues for his dry wit and his dedication to his craft, often appearing in fan events without charging a fee. Ian Hart, who portrayed the twitchy and suspicious Professor Quirrell, one of the most psychologically intense characters in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, was 37 years old at the time of filming. A brilliant method actor, he often lost himself in his roles, which affected his mental well-being. He married theater costume designer Eloise Marks in 1998, but their marriage slowly deteriorated due to Ian's growing dependence on alcohol and erratic behavior while preparing for roles. They divorced in 2011 but share 2 children, twins named Felix and Matilda, now young adults. Hart's post-Potter career was peppered with critically acclaimed performances but overshadowed by his volatile reputation on set. He faced public scrutiny following a 2014 onstage meltdown during a live production, which led to a 2-year hiatus and psychiatric treatment. Among the darker moments of his life were a failed suicide attempt in 2016, estrangement from one child, and a bitter legal battle with a former agent. He now lives in Brighton, England, largely out of the spotlight. With an estimated net worth of $500,000, Hart continues to act in small, independent projects while advocating for mental health in the acting community, trying to channel his pain into meaningful, often cathartic work. Leslie Phillips, who voiced the iconic Sorting Hat in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, was 77 years old when he lent his voice to the magical artifact responsible for placing Hogwarts students into their respective houses. He was married 3 times. His first 2 marriages ended in acrimonious divorces, marked by infidelity and public scandals. His final marriage to actress Zara Carr, while seemingly stable, was often plagued by long periods of separation and loneliness. In his later years, he suffered a series of strokes, and his health declined rapidly. He battled with financial losses due to poor investments and the collapse of a retirement project in Spain. He also struggled with depression following the death of his brother, and a lifelong feeling of underappreciation despite decades in the industry. Leslie Phillips passed away on November 7, 2022, at the age of 98 due to complications following a fall. At the time of his death, his estate was valued at approximately £1.2 million, a modest sum for someone of his stature, and he died quietly in a care facility in London. Vern Troyer, who portrayed the goblin banker Grip Hook in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, was 32 years old when he took on the iconic role. Known for his stature and sharp delivery, Troyer brought a cunning wit to the character despite limited screen time. Off-screen, however, Vern battled immense personal demons. Born on January 1, 1969, he faced lifelong health challenges due to cartilage, hair hypoplasia. After his brief stint in Harry Potter, his career waned, and he was often cast in exploitative or comedic roles that undercut his talent. He married Genevieve Gallen in a chaotic, short-lived union annulled after just one day. Struggling with alcoholism and depression, Troyer never had children and often spoke about the loneliness of fame. His later years were marked by rehab stints, legal troubles, and isolation. He died by suicide on April 21, 2018, at the age of 49, from alcohol intoxication, a heartbreaking end to a life overshadowed by public scrutiny and private despair. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $150,000, much of it tied up in medical bills and treatment costs. His legacy remains bittersweet, a talented actor trapped in a body and industry that rarely took him seriously. Julie Walters, who played the warm-hearted Molly Weasley, matriarch of the Weasley clan, was 51 years old when she embraced the beloved role in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Her character symbolized motherly love, fierce protection, and humor, earning her a place in fans' hearts worldwide. However, Walter's own life was far from the picture of stability she portrayed on screen. Born on February 22, 1950, she is now 75 years old. After the Harry Potter saga, her roles dwindled, and she quietly battled bowel cancer for several years. Though she married her longtime partner Grant Raffey, their relationship often suffered under the weight of fame and illness. They had one daughter, Maisie, but Walters has confessed in interviews to feeling emotionally disconnected due to her demanding work. The family experienced deep strain after Maisie's teenage rebellion and struggles with addiction. Julie's closest friends passed away in quick succession in the 2010s, plunging her into a quiet, melancholic retirement. She currently resides in Devon in near seclusion, rarely appearing in public. Her estate is valued at approximately £1.6 million, much of it preserved through frugal living and limited investments. Though still admired, she remains haunted by the distance between public adoration and personal emptiness. Emma Watson, who portrayed Hermione Granger, the brilliant and brave Muggle-born witch, was only 11 years old when she first charmed audiences in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Born on April 15, 1990, Emma is now 34 years old. Her early fame came with immense pressure, and despite appearances in several acclaimed films, she struggled to find her identity beyond Hermione. After a highly publicized romance with Silicon Valley entrepreneur Daniel Walsh, the couple married in 2017 and had twin daughters, Isla and Ivy. However, the marriage soon crumbled under the strain of media scrutiny and conflicting careers. A painful divorce in 2023 left Emma battling anxiety and struggling with co-parenting. She took a break from acting to focus on feminist activism but faced backlash for being perceived as performative rather than effective. The tragic loss of her close friend and former co-star in 2022 sent her into a deep depression. Estranged from the Hollywood scene, she now lives between London and a modest vineyard in Italy. Her estimated net worth remains high at $75 million, yet she describes her life as spiritually bankrupt. Emma rarely gives interviews, often choosing to write anonymously under pseudonyms in online feminist circles, seeking solace in invisibility. John Cleese, who portrayed the whimsical yet sorrowful ghost Nearly Headless Nick, was 62 years old in 2001 when he joined the magical world of Hogwarts. Born on October 27, 1939, he is now 85 years old. Known for his sharp wit and legendary work with Monty Python, Cleese's ghostly performance brought humor and tragedy in equal measure. Yet behind his on-screen charm was a life riddled with instability. Married 4 times, each ending in acrimonious divorce, he fathered 2 daughters, Cynthia and Camilla, with whom he shares a strained relationship. Financial woes plagued him for decades, worsened by massive alimony payments that drained his fortune. After Harry Potter, he struggled to find substantial roles and was frequently criticized for controversial political statements. He became increasingly reclusive, alienating colleagues and fans alike. Living alone in a small flat in Bath, he now spends most of his days writing letters to newspapers and revisiting his old scripts. His estate, once valued at over £10 million, has dwindled to around £1.2 million due to legal settlements and debt. Despite everything, Cleese clings to dark humor, often joking, "I've been ghosted by life long before I played one." Alan Rickman, the unforgettable Professor Severus Snape, was 55 when he brought the complex potions master to life in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. With a chilling voice and enigmatic glare, Rickman crafted a character both feared and beloved. Born on February 21, 1946, Rickman tragically passed away from pancreatic cancer on January 14, 2016, at the age of 69. He was in a lifelong relationship with Rima Horton, whom he married in 2012 after nearly 50 years together. The couple had no children, a decision Rickman later admitted was tinged with regret. Despite his fame, Rickman often felt isolated, frustrated by roles that never quite matched his vision. The final years of his life were marked by disillusionment. He turned down major roles, citing artistic fatigue, and distanced himself from public life. His illness was kept secret until the end, and many colleagues were shocked by his sudden passing. Though a master of his craft, Rickman's private journals reveal a man tormented by existential dread and creative dissatisfaction. At the time of his death, his estate was valued at £4 million, much of which he left to charities and Rima. Fans continue to mourn not just the actor, but the gentle, conflicted soul behind the iconic sneer. Which character from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is your favorite? How do you feel knowing that some of the cast members have passed away? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for your support.